It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Monday edition of your Feel Good Breakfast Show as we kickstart your week. And we do so by updating you on the latest technology news. Bryan Smith joins us, our regular tech expert, to discuss some technologies that might be obsolete in 10 years from now that you might not have thought about. Thank you very much for joining us, Bryan.
Sure, thank you for having me back.
And we start off first with the humble bank card that you say will be obsolete in 10 years' time, even though I think it's making some substantial ground. Now it's no longer just insert, it's tap. You know, we're scanning now. But anyway, you're saying it's going to be obsolete.
And I think I'd say about time as well. I mean, if you think about it, we have to consider the impact of plastic on our environment.
True.
And with bank cards especially, we tend to create them en masse, ship them to people in envelopes around the world in the hope they'll use them, and most of them just end up back in the garbage. And it's refreshing that this technology might well be obsolete in 10 years thanks to a technology called near-field communications, NFC, in smartphones. And that's what powers a lot of tap-and-go solutions, if you've seen people tap and go with their smartphone, or even tap and go with their plastic bank card right now. A lot of mobile device manufacturers are getting behind this technology, and in the next 10 years what we'll likely see is banks adopt this technology for pay points around shops all over the world.
Yeah, they just have to work on the security risks around that, people kind of scamming you or scanning you as they walk past you, but I'm sure that'll be improved in time. Now the next one, wired chargers, you say might be obsolete in 10 years time. We might move to more wireless charging technology, but we've got that already with these charging pads that you have at home and in your car, that kind of thing.
We do have wireless charging at the moment, and there are multiple different standards for that, but none of them really offer the freedom I think people think of when they think of the term wireless charging, because instead of just plugging your phone in, we have to leave it on a flat surface that's somehow nearby to us. And that doesn't always work out. What researchers are presently looking to do is create wireless charging standards that can charge at greater distances. So at present, wireless charging only really works about 7 millimeters away when the phone is next to that charging pad on certain standards. What researchers are looking to do is increase that distance exponentially. So the first barrier will sort of be, say, let's take it at a meter away, and then thereafter they'll be able to scale much more rapidly.
Wow, and soon you'll be able to walk into your house and your phone will charge.
That's the dream.
Okay. All right, and then lastly, one that I'm not so sure I agree with you on. You say remote controls will be obsolete in the next 10 years. How else would we then navigate through our devices or TVs? What do you suggest there?
I think what most of us do today, if we have an Android smartphone, we tend to think, well, instead of using one remote, why don't I have all the remotes for my house tethered to my Android phone with an infrared sensor? I think that's definitely the future, where we'll just have one remote in the house. But even then, I think that's not really looking towards longevity. And definitely what we've seen in 2017, 2018 is smart speakers becoming entrenched in the home, and voice control definitely becoming the way through which people interact with their smart devices. And it's going to be very interesting to see that if, let's say, television manufacturers or other smart device manufacturers begin to include this technology, that should really become the way through which we interact with our devices in our home.
Yeah, well, I just can't see how I wake up on a Saturday morning wanting to channel hop, and then because it's voice controlled, you have to look at the TV and go, program up, volume down, volume down, up. But anyway, who knows? It might just happen. But thank you very much for updating us. As always, much appreciated. You can follow Bryan at Bryan Smith SA on social media to keep up with the latest technology news. Thanks, man.